Hello and welcome back to Tingling of 5. Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Sony PlayStation VR. Now it comes in quite a large box. We're going to pull the box forward and the Mac will actually fall away from it. You are supposed to open the box within the box, but for video purposes I've taken the box away from the other one. So when you first open it up, we've got inside is the PlayStation VR manual, where it will tell you how to set it up and describe all the components to you. The PlayStation VR help section, so if you need some help setting it up you can go there or follow this video. Now inside here we have, looks like 3 boxes, but it's actually 2 boxes. We have this first one, the middle thing is a trick, and the one on the right hand side contains everything else that you're going to need. As well as behind it is the screen cleaner, some warranty information, more warranty information and guarantees, demo disc, which you don't need because you can download it from the PlayStation Store itself, yet more disposal information, a HDMI cable, the HDMI, the extension cable for the headset, and finally, when you can remove all the cardboard, you have the headset itself. So this is everything that comes in the box. I've just cleared everything away just for the video purposes. So opening the first box that we took out, that just comes with the power lead. Now this is a UK plug with a 2-pin power adapter AC. Inside the second box we have lots of stuff. So we have a micro USB cable. This is just a micro USB cable as you would use with your phone. The second item we have is the processor unit. Now this actually doesn't do any VR processing, all it does is convert the signal back into something the TV can use. And then we have the power brick itself for powering the little box. 3 amps pull out of that power supply. And we have some earphones. Those earphones are okay. I'm not going to use them in the rest of the video, but they're okay. So I have a HDMI cable that came with it. Got us all of this stuff, a cleaning cloth for the lenses, and inside here we have the extension lead. So this is going to run from the processor unit to the headset itself. Let's unfurl it. We can see it has a HDMI port as well as the proprietary PSVR port. And of course, if we get everything out, we need to look at the headset itself. So looking at the headset, it's actually surprisingly light. I was reading that it was the heaviest of all 3 proper VR headsets released, and it was actually very light, all supported by the ring at the top. So it has the 2 cables that go into it, the HDMI cable and the proprietary PSVR cable, as well as the control with a power button, the mic mute button and some volume buttons, and a headset port, and the actual thing itself. So you can see the 2 lenses inside there, got a button on the back, got a button on the bottom, and it's got a dial that you can spin above at the back. So looking at the headset itself, we first need to understand what it's made from. We have the rubber holdings on the side there, and we need to peel off these pieces of plastic to reveal the Sony and the PlayStation logos. Once we've done that, we're actually able to take the thing off the lenses as well, just so we can be able to see through it. And we can see that the headset is fully adjustable. Now the way to put this on is to press the button on the back and then stretch it out, and then tighten it up with the actual dial itself. More on that later. But this is the processor unit. The right hand side slides forwards and backwards to be able to enable you to plug things in better and to keep the cables tidier when actually being used. So we're going to place it on top of the PS4. Now my PS4 uses a 3.5-inch hard drive, and that's why it looks different on the left hand side. I'll do a video on that another day. So we're going to connect the power lead up to it. Now this is the simple power brick. You will have your 2-pin adapter which came with your PlayStation VR, so mine came with the UK plug. So the next thing you want to do is unplug the HDMI from the back of your PS4 and plug it into the HDMI out on the end of the processor unit. And then we're going to take the new HDMI cable that came with the PlayStation VR, connect that to the back of the processor unit, and then connect that to the next thing you want to do is slide the thing on the right hand side all the way back. So we've got the ready for the headset port, and plug in the micro USB cable to the front of the PlayStation 4. Now you can either connect the extension lead, which came with the PlayStation VR, or the actual PSVR headset to it. I recommend you plug the extension lead in, because you actually want some space to move around. And you'll notice on the cable and on the ports, you have the triangle, circle, X square markings, and these line up and correspond on both the headset as well as the processor unit itself. So you want to line up the triangle, circle, X square. And then unfurl the cable, because you need to be able to move around. So the last bit, we're going to connect the headset to the actual extension cable, like so, proprietary to proprietary, HDMI to HDMI, and you can see triangle, circle, X square, just line them up as shown. And your headset is pretty much ready to go at this point. Just unfurl the last cable, and you're ready to power up. So we're going to power on the PS4 right now. And this does not power up the secondary unit. What you need to do is then press the power on button on the headset control itself. And the first thing it wanted to do was update. So when you get your PSVR, chances are it'll want to do exactly the same thing. The update doesn't take long. I have sped this up, but it doesn't take long at all. So let's get started with the PlayStation VR. So for a little while, we're going to have the main screen as the main screen, and I'm going to be on the left-hand side for a little while, but I do suffer a technical glitch, unfortunately, and I am going to disappear. So this is just the setup process, so it tells you to plug the earphones in to actually give you the 3D audio. I'm not using the ones Sony gave. The Sony ones aren't bad, but my Samsung ones in front of me are a little bit better than those. It's telling you how to put the headset on, even though it's talking to you about it. As you say, you press the button on the back to release the container, and then what you can do is roll the cog behind you, and that tightens the headset. But you can also move the actual headset part in and out with the button on the bottom, which is actually really good. And they ask you to lower the headband to get you in the most optimal position. And as I say, turning the dial on the back, that tightens or loosens, well, just tightens the headset. It does not loosen the headset. It's just going to tighten it up. If you want to loosen it, you've got to press the button and then pull it back yourself. Adjust the headset position until these letters are very clear and smooth. So you're moving the headset up and down just to make sure the letters are very clear and smooth, because it's working with the optic itself. And then at this stage, you're presented with like a giant cinema screen. So it doesn't come through on the capture, but I'm moving around, and it's just black space with a giant cinema screen with the PlayStation menu on it. There's lots of games already out for PlayStation VR. What I'm going to do is dive into the demo disc on this video. We can then move on to a different video if you want to see some more games. And I've disappeared from the left-hand side because of my technical glitch, unfortunately, of the camera not having battery power, and me not realising because I'm wearing a VR headset. So we're going to jump into PlayStation VR World, purely because this is the one that Sony's been pushing the most. It's not the most stellar review so far, but it was okay on its demo. So we're going to dive into it and see what's here. So what ended up happening was you've actually got one game within this demo, and that's the ocean floor, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. What I ended up doing is, one, staring at the controller in front of me, because the camera had turned on and started tracking the controller. And as you can see, as I touch the controller, actually it gets interactive. So I'm moving the controller around and I can see things. And what you can do is use the controller as a torch, but then also, when you're messing around with the menu, is actually hit these balls. So I've got the controller in the debris field at the moment, just moving things around, seeing how the physics works, which in VR is actually very impressive. It's not coming through anywhere near as much on the screen. And I do think the field of view on the headset is much better. So I'm hitting this ball around with the VR headset on, and the 3D audio on it is really, really good. So it is tech demo stuff, but it's functional. Then we've got a sped up version of the VR experience. So essentially, you're in a cage and you're being lowered down. I've sped it up just for video purposes, but it's actually very impressive. You don't really do anything, or except just move your head around, but it's very impressive. But then we've got other games such as Thumper. The field of view really suffers when you're trying to capture this. The field of view on the headset is absolutely fantastic compared to what you're seeing at the moment. So it actually seems to be focusing like more towards the back of the beetle itself. Like you're a beetle and this is some sort of music game. That was actually very, very clever. I really enjoyed it. So you're pressing X to go left and right along with the analog sticks, and you're pressing X on those things. And I'm just moving my head around at the moment and getting my protective beetle shell to get the A rank. It was very good, the Thumper. It did actually start to make me feel kind of sick, if I'm honest. Then we've got Drive Club VR. I really enjoyed Drive Club VR. It's one of the VR games I've actually bought already. So I bought it before the headset came out, just because I love Drive Club so much. But moving my head around while driving the car, so at the moment I'm driving the Mac Mono, I really enjoyed Drive Club VR. And actually I'm still playing it. I played it this morning before editing this video. So it's just going around the track. You are the driver and you can move your head around. But that honestly is enough. It really works, and again, the field of view is much better on the headset itself than on the screen. So we need to find another way of representing these through our capture cards, because it's actually a very, very different experience. As I say, Drive Club, it's fully mapped to your head moving around, and you can like move your head around the cockpit. You can move your place in the cockpit. So me being quite tall, I like to sit quite high in the car itself, but I could sit, wherever I wanted. As you saw during that video take, there was a little bit of a cliff where I put my head inside the back of the car, but it was just a minor thing, and I came straight back out of it. So overall, first impressions are the PlayStation VR is very good. I've enjoyed playing with it so far. I have got a little bit of motion sickness from it, but I do suffer from motion sickness anyway, and I'm hoping it's something that ends up just going away over time. Is my hope for the time being. Let me know your experiences in the comments below. And if you've got any more questions about the PlayStation VR, maybe I can do some follow-up videos. Thank you for watching.